It is Tuesday, the 8th of November, 2022. We're looking at the partially eclipsed moon. We're using a Nikon 300mm ED lens. It's an AF Nikon, f4 maximum opening, but we're set to f8 at the moment, and it's probably more like f16 in that we're using a doubler. So the doubler is a Tamron SP AF teleconverter model 300F-FNS. So essentially 600mm, f8 maximum opening in real terms, and it says f8 here, so that's I think f8 on the camera. So in real terms it's f16. So 50th at f16 at 100th 100 ISO. I'm just gonna let the camera run through the frame here. Definitely quite eclipsed here. Ending this video now. I'm going to start a new clip. So again, it is Tuesday morning, very early, 4:20 something here now, maybe just 4:24. And we're looking at the partial lunar eclipse. It will be total. It is a total lunar eclipse as the sun is setting here. But for the time being, it's partial. I'd say solidly eclipsed, and then below that it's part of the outer part of the umbra, and then the lower part of the moon is more or less not eclipsed. So we're just gonna let this clip run. It's a 20-minute maximum recording time. We'll see how things go. So if I didn't already say it, the aperture is f11. ISO is 64, and again it's a 400mm IF manual focus lens from the lake set. Another camera. So yeah, we're getting down to the bottom of the frame here. So we're gonna have to reposition. And let's do that now. So we're just going to shift a little off to the left, actually lower the camera, raise the moon in the frame by lowering the angle of the camera. So that's it. So we'll just let this keep running. Let the moon run through the frame. So again, I think I've already mentioned it, but I guess it can't hurt to repeat it. The lens we're using is an AF Nikkor 300mm f4 lens. The lens is set to f8, but we're also using a Tamron SPAF teleconverter model 300F-FNS, bringing the focal length up to 600mm. And the camera's saying it's f8, but I think that means it's f8 on the lens. So in real terms, it would be f16, 2 stops slower, 50th of a second. So we're just gonna let the camera roll. We'll let the moon come down through the frame, and I'm gonna have to go have a look at my other camera. Too much more powerful than that in terms of having the moon run through the frame. The more powerful you get, the less time it takes across the frame. So we're just going to leave things well enough alone. We're going to let this run. I'm going to go have a look at my other camera. See the moon's going through it quicker. All right. So moon's close to center here, and well over 20% eclipsed, 25, maybe even 30% eclipsed. And let's see what the time is. 4:20 something, maybe 4:30-ish, 4:29, yeah. So well into the total eclipse of the moon, although it's just partially eclipsed at the moment. Still well above the horizon, more than a hand span above the horizon, but not much more than a hand span above the horizon. And on this camera, the ISO is 100. That's as low as it goes in terms of the basic operations. You can set a lower ISO, but it's not real ISO, shall we say, so there's no point. Basically, this should give the best image quality. f8, in real terms f16, 50th of a second. Still got plenty of recording time left, but from the look of things, you know, the moon's getting towards the bottom of the frame there. We're probably going to have to shift things well before the recording time ends, but I'm just going to do that. I'm not going to do a whole bunch of individual clips. I'm just going to reposition and let the camera continue to run. Other camera. Okay. Just debating at what point I want to reposition. Also debating taking a still or two, but there's not a huge point in doing so really. This is quite nice with the
significant partial eclipse, and then the Maria below. So I think I will reposition now because the moon's close to the bottom frame. We'll just go a little off to the left, lower the camera a bit so the moon's higher up in the frame. There we go. Well, yeah, we'll let the moon run through the frame again. Still got 9 minutes and 30 seconds of recording time left. So yeah, we're just going to let the camera roll here. I don't know how much vibration the wind is causing. It's certainly got a bit of a breeze going here. Probably is shaking the camera to some extent. Another reason not to bother with stills, quite frankly, because it's difficult enough in terms of vibration, the shutter and so on. Wind doesn't help. So there's still about 7 minutes and 40 seconds of recording time left. Just going to let the moon run down through the frame here and have another look at the other camera.
So I think the moon is getting quite close to the bottom. We're going to reposition things. Again, base ISO 64, Nikon D800 DSLR, 400mm lens, set f11, and the ISO when it's ready, shutter speed is 1.7. And roll.
Oh, and we're getting to the bottom frame here. I have to say there's sort of a nasty greenish tinge to this. I don't know why that is. It might just be the screen. Hopefully it's just the screen. But 5 minutes of recording time left. The moon's down near the bottom of the frame. So I think we'll reposition. So off to the left. Raise the camera. I should say lower the camera, raise the moon by lowering the angle. And we'll let the moon run through the frame again. We got 4 minutes and 36 seconds of recording time left here. So again, ISO 100, base ISO for the Nikon D800 DSLR I'm using. It says f8 on the screen, but that's f8 on the camera lens. With the teleconverter I'm using, it brings it down to f16. 50th of a second is the shutter speed. And we're just going to let the camera run for the next 4 minutes and 2 seconds.
Let the video run here. I don't know if I'm even going to bother taking any stills. I'll probably take a screenshot of the video. Obviously not nearly the same resolution as if I shot a still, but I have stills from previous eclipses. I don't have a lot of continuous video footage, so I think I'll stick mostly to video. Once it gets close to total, and during totality, I'll probably take some stills. I think there'll be partial phases.
So 2 minutes and 43 seconds. Moon's a little above center of the frame. So we'll just let this continue to roll. And exposure is pretty good. Maybe a bit on the dark side, but I want detail in the surface of the moon. So I prefer a slightly underexposed, rather than overexposed. So 2 minutes, 10 seconds left. Counting down here. ISO 100. Real aperture is f16. 50th of a second shutter speed. And the focal length is 600 millimeter. That's a 300 millimeter lens with a 2x teleconverter.
Getting to the point where it's almost 50%. Yeah, we're just going to kind of run 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
So we got a minute and 2 seconds of recording time left. We're just going to let the camera roll, and then we'll do another clip. I may take a still or two in between clips. 42 seconds.